Arsenal have said Kieran Tierney is asking price because it looks like they are going to part ways with him in the summer, though Mikel Arteta is undecided of whether to sell him or not. Welcome to Rokani Media Football. How are you guys and where you watching us from? Smash the like button, comment and share. We are talking Milinkovic-Savic. Another huge boost for him to join Arsenal in the summer has been revealed by a very credible Italian source. That's another second story we are going to discuss about. And don't forget to subscribe, guys. And after subscribing, hit the notification bell. That will enable you to get notified every time we upload a video onto this channel. We want to hit 13,000 subscribers, guys, before the end of this month. Today is 18th and you are left with just 13 days to the end of this month. So guys, endeavor to subscribe because you are not left with very many subscribers to hit 13,000 subscribers. Let me check and see how many are we left with. Let me have a little bit of a check here. Just a second. We are left with some 500 subscribers, but if at all we can get 13 subscribers on this video, that means we'd have hit 12,500. So let's see 13 subscribers subscribe to this video, and then we hit 12,500 subscribers, guys. So guys, continue doing that because the more you do it, the more you are going to really take us to the ilk where we want us to be. Now, there is even another story of Emily Smith-Rowe that we are going to talk about, as Arteta has gone ahead and really told him what to do if at all he wants to get back into the team of Arsenal. Now, let's go to the story that was brought to you here onto the Rokani Media Football on the 28th of February, when Lee Ryder, he is really a Newcastle writer. He told us that Kieran Tierney is open to a move to Newcastle this summer if Arsenal continue to keep him sidelined. Newcastle are understood to have had Kieran Tierney's name put to them by representatives in a move that would spice up the battle for left back on the Newcastle side. Now, this story really reflects what is exactly happening at Arsenal for Kieran Tierney. On Thursday, as Arsenal were being knocked out of the UEFA Europa League, if I told you watched my match preview, I had predicted that Mikel Arteta is going to start Kieran Tierney at the left back position. That's it. Now, what he did was to start Zinchenko. That shows you the levels of not trusting Kieran Tierney. That's how high the levels are for Mikel Arteta. He doesn't trust Kieran Tierney anymore, and he doesn't want him, I think, around Arsenal. But after that story came in through, that was on the 28th of February, Jacobs Ben came in through and told us the following about this deal of Kieran Tierney leaving Arsenal and joining very many other teams. That it's not only Newcastle that are really interested in the player, but very many other teams are really interested. And we are being told that Mikel Arteta is undecided about letting Kieran Tierney go, but 35 to 40 million pounds could be enough for Arsenal to sell. Newcastle have genuine interest, and watch out for Aston Villa and Monaco too. Now, the asking price of Arsenal is between 35 million pounds to 40 million pounds. We all know that they bought him from Celtic at 25 million pounds. That was in 2019. So I think that was under the era of Unai Emery, not so? So I think that's what gives Aston Villa another edge over Newcastle, that this player can be convinced by his former manager at Arsenal to sign him. And Unai Emery is not only looking into sign Kieran Tierney at Arsenal, he also wants El Nini. But the problem was he got an injury, and he wanted him in the January transfer window, but El Nini got any injury. So, going back to Kieran Tierney, if Arteta is undecided, you ask yourself, if you're undecided about selling the player, then why don't you play the player? Why don't you play the player? Because if you're undecided about him, that means you at least feel that he still has something to prove in your squad. Now, if you're playing Sporting Lisbon and you don't start him, because the game they played away, Arteta exonerated himself because the player had flu. Him and Odegaard, they never played. But on Thursday, he was fit and he was not given minutes to play. And for a player like Kieran Tierney at the age of 26, he would love to be playing game in, game out. And he doesn't feel that he is being respected at Arsenal. A player that had a very decent season last year and he was being ranked among the top left backs in the league, meaning that he has the potential, but Mikel Arteta brought in a player who goes by names of Zinchenko, who is better than him. So he's undecided, but Arsenal are really wanting 35 to 40 million pounds. So can Newcastle cough that amount of money? I think they will, because he's a top talent. He's one of the best. He was one of the best left backs in the league last season. So I think they have to pay that amount of money. But Arsenal has a 15% that they have to go ahead and really pay to Celtic if at all they sell this player, and I think that's why he is in that amount of money. So I think Newcastle, Monaco, and Aston Villa are interested in the player, and the player is really willing to really part ways in there at Arsenal. And given Jacobs Ben continued to throw in more info about the story of Kieran Tierney to Newcastle, that Tiene held talks with Arteta to better understand his future and was encouraged to fight for his place. So an exit is not guaranteed. Even Arteta is undecided whether to let him go, but it will also come down to whether Tierney is satisfied to be a squad player. And I think if you're Kieran Tierney, you can't be a squad player. I think that's what I'm really having in my mind. He can't be happy to be a squad player. At his age, he deserves to be playing elsewhere in the... He deserves to be playing somewhere else in the league, and he's supposed to be a starter, because Real Madrid, we are looking at him last year because he was really playing very well. It shows you how high the level Kieran Tierney was, but the coming in of Zinchenko is really something that has really taken him off the grip, and I think it is really putting him far off as far as him and Arsenal are really concerned. But Mikel Arteta held a press conference, I think it was when was it? And he was asked about the departure of Kieran Tierney, and he had the following to say. He first said, this is what he had to say at first. He first said, very good, because we discussed the situation and we had a very similar position. He knows his role under me, and he has played a lot, probably more than any other player, including the previous players that were at the club during the past 3 years. That's Mikel Arteta. And he concluded by saying he understands the situation and he needs to challenge the situation. So the situation is simple. There is a player who is playing better than him. That is Zinchenko. And now he has to challenge Zinchenko and take over that position. But if at all you are Kieran Tierney and your agent, when you look at the performances that Zinchenko is putting in season in, game out, there is no way he's going to come close to Zinchenko, unless otherwise he's okay being a backup. And even if he's okay being a backup, Arteta has shown us that he no longer trusts him to play him as a left back. That's it. He no longer trusts him to play him as a left back, because sometimes he even goes in for Tomiyasu, the injured Tomiyasu, to play as the left back. So it is really looking weird for this guy. And then Mikel Arteta on the 1st of March, he said the following onto the Newcastle interest in Kieran Tierney. He said, I don't know, I'm not thinking about it, I'm thinking about what's best for the team. Obviously the players have the right to play, which they all deserve. We are going to try to do that in the next couple of games, and obviously he has not done it, and this man is not satisfied with the playing time he's getting at Arsenal, and I think Arsenal are really looking to really lose the player, because there is no way he's going to be played ahead of Zinchenko. And next season, they're going to the Champions League. If at all the manager cannot trust you in the UEFA Europa League games, do you think he's going to play you in the Champions League games? That's out. That's out. So to me, I 100% believe Zinchenko might be leaving Arsenal. 35 to 40 million pounds. Asking price, not bad money. If at all Arsenal get that amount of money, they can either bring back Nuno Tavares or sign another player who is a left back to come in and play well as an understudy for Zinchenko, who is really okay to being an understudy to Zinchenko. But if at all it's not that, it's not all rosy for the team of Arsenal as it stands. Now, let's get into another story of Milinkovic-Savic, a player that has been linked to Arsenal very many times. Now, Gazette Gazzetti dello Sport, one of the great bosses coming from Italy, has gone ahead and thrown in a very huge story about Milinkovic-Savic to Arsenal. They've told us that Arsenal have been handed a major boost in the pursuit of Lazio star Milinkovic-Savic. The 28-year-old is said to be available for half the previous asking price this summer. With 1 year remaining on his contract, Lazio could accept £44 million. So, Milinkovic-Savic, 28 years of age, £44 million. Could it be a bargain for Arsenal? I think it is. If they can get him at £44 million, Milinkovic-Savic, obviously that will be a very huge bargain for the Arsenal side, because he's a very talented player. And where Arsenal is going, and it has shown us that he's now mixing young and old. And he has seen that these old players like Jorginho, Trossard bring something different to the team, especially as far as winning is concerned and decision making. And with Arsenal going to the Champions League, they need now experience. Experience is needed, and that's why Milinkovic-Savic will be a very huge signing for Arsenal. And it really shows you that they are really looking in for a player who is going to come in to play in that Xhaka position with a lot of experience, and with the vast experience that Milinkovic-Savic is really having. I think he'll fit well in that Arsenal side. And I always tell you that this guy is tailor-made for the Premier League, because he's has been tearing up the Serie A for a very, very long time. He has been linked to very many teams, and Arsenal might win this and really take him in this season. Though he's not looking great this season, he has gone ahead to play 24 games in the league. He has scored 4 goals with 7 assists. Those are 12 goal involvements. He has played in the UEFA Europa League and scored 2 goals. So he has played a total of 32 games with 6 goals and 8 assists. Those are 14 goal involvements. I think it's not bad for a player like him, who is really needed at Arsenal. 1.9 meters tall, that is Milinkovic-Savic. That's why I tell you that he's tailor-made for the Premier League. When you look at his weight, his weight has not yet indicated here, but his height and physicality is tailor-made for the Premier League, and that's why I always call in for Arsenal to get him, because he's a very good player, and I think Lazio don't want to lose him at £44 million. I think it's a bargain for Arsenal. To be having a bench of Milinkovic-Savic seated on it, he's a very, very, very talented player. If you ever watched him play, you can agree with me that this player is one of those that you'll all like to be playing at Arsenal, because the likes of Emily Smith-Rowe are good, but the level at which Arsenal are going to need experienced players. Like you saw in the game of Sporting Lisbon, Arsenal lacked a little bit of experience to kill off that game. That's it. So let's wait and see whether in the summer things are really going to go that way. And in this international break that is starting on Monday, you are going to hear lots of transfer stories being speculated, report around, and you're going to be doing a lot of transfers as players are going to be away, and the teams are really going to be ready to find themselves in a position of really talking to the agents of those players to see to it that they really guarantee them to take them on. Now, Emily Smith-Rowe is a player that's not getting enough playing time at Arsenal, and Mikel Arteta has really told him what to do to find a space into the starting 11 of Arsenal. He has told them that Emily Smith-Rowe knows how much we love him and how much we missed him and how much we need his qualities. Now he needs to prove it. He needs to prove how much he wants to win and how much he's going to contribute to this team to be better and to win, to find himself into the starting 11 of Arsenal. So Arteta is a manager who always tells you what you don't want to hear or what you want to hear. And he's telling him directly that you're a good player, but you have to fight for your position. And there is no position here that's going to be not given out on merit. I'm not going to put in that team because you performed well the previous season. You are going to find yourself into the Arsenal squad or starting team if at all you prove to me that you come on the field of play and work well. He came in through in the game of Bournemouth, put in an assist to Thomas Partey for the first goal, taken off, and ever since then he has been really not all that clicking to where Mikel Arteta wants him to be. So guys, your thoughts on Arsenal setting Kieran Tierney's asking price are welcome in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about Milinkovic-Savic. Should Arsenal go for him at £44 million? And lastly, what do you think about Emily Smith-Rowe? Do you think he's not yet up to the levels to start into that Arsenal team? All that and more into the comment section below. Good morning. May the Almighty Lord enlighten your day. I'm out.